Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're doing European Outlook for today's second video. So, as also on a Thursday, we've got a detailed look at weather for next week, for the next week to 10 days across Europe. And I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just to say about the first video today is our 6 AM UK weather forecast. It's a 10 to 14 day with all operating features on the way later on this afternoon as well. Please like, share and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. And thank you so much for doing that. For GavsWeatherVids, thank you so much everyone. Right, let's start off with the situation across Europe today, Ben. So we've got high pressure building in from the Atlantic into Western Europe. We're high and dry at 1,030 millibars, so it's low pressure out to the north, bringing this westerly flow in from off the Atlantic and the Norwegian Sea into Scandinavia and Nordic regions. Well, of course, got low pressure down towards Spain and Portugal again, bringing some heavy downpours and thunderstorms through there. Upper air temperatures are pretty cold in the north and northeast, but a lot milder out in the west. And as far as precipitation goes, well, there you see it. There's all of the heavy rain and thunderstorms again down across southern, southwestern parts of Spain and Portugal. Also some downpours through Italy and through towards Greece as well. Northwards up towards the western shores, I should say, of the Black Sea. And then otherwise there's a lot of dry weather though, actually, under that area of high pressure, especially through central western parts of Europe, before we run back into rain, sleet and snow moving in towards Norway. And just some wintry conditions, wintry mix maybe, pushing southwards from the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia and Lithuania in towards Belarus. And as far as temperature is concerned, it's a cold scene in northern and eastern parts of Europe. Less cold out to the west, although not as mild as the upper air temperatures would suggest. So again, under that high pressure, a little bit of an inversion taking place in parts of the UK and France, for example. Right, our situation tomorrow, so low pressure deepening in the Norwegian Sea here between Greenland and Norway, and high pressure beginning to start inching out in towards the Atlantic. Still that cut-off low off the coast of Spain and Portugal. Upper air temperature still pretty cold in the far eastern portion of Europe, plunging down towards the southeast of Europe as well. Otherwise, relatively mild with the upper air temperatures once again on Friday. Outbreaks of rain moving into northern Scotland, rain, sleet and snow heading in towards Norway, and some wet weather down across some parts of Greece and Turkey, some big thunderstorms possible through there. And once again we see big downpours, thunderstorms, long spells of thundery rain patches in the far south, southwest of Spain, and into southern parts of Portugal as well. Otherwise, though, lots of dry weather once more and that big area of high pressure, and temperatures remain quite cold in the east and the northeast. Gradually getting less cold further west, but hardly mild, even for like Germany, France and the UK. Just really Ireland, Spain, Portugal looking genuinely mild there, and southern parts of France. And we go on then into Saturday, heights begin continuing to pull out from the west of Europe into the Atlantic. Winds start to shift round into the northwest, so cold air beginning to dig in from the Arctic across these northern, northwestern parts of Europe there. So, sorry everyone, upper air temperatures show cold air getting into northern Scotland and also starting to move in towards Norway as well as Sweden too, and Finland. Further southwards, generally mild with those upper air temperatures once again. The thunderstorms or longer spells of rain beginning to pull out into the Atlantic from Spain and Portugal, so perhaps things drying up a little bit in the south and southwest of Spain and Portugal on Saturday. A band of rain coming southwards through the UK, Denmark, and into the Low Countries of northern Germany. That's the cold front. High about it turns cooler, with showers beginning to turn wintry for northern Scotland, and probably snow heading in towards Norway there. I think it could be quite heavy and persistent, and more snow up across Arctic portions of Norway, Sweden, and also Finland. Otherwise, a lot of dry weather again on Saturday, though, just some heavy showers and thunderstorms in the extreme eastern portion of the Med. Temperatures becoming colder, especially across the far northern portion of Europe. Sunday takes the trough of low pressure into Scandinavia and Nordic regions, centres it to the north of the Baltic Sea, and that pulls down this Baltic and northerly wind across the north and the west of Europe, heights lowering across southern parts of Europe as well, you will notice. Upper air temperature becoming colder from the north into the west of the north of Europe, so we've got cold air here through Norway, through Sweden, into Finland, starting to push south into the Baltic Sea states, also in towards Denmark, northern Poland, Germany, low countries, the far north France, and into the UK and Ireland as well. Milder with the upper air temperatures, of course, further south into the Mediterranean. Heavy rain marking the change to those colder conditions, particularly through southern parts of England, in towards the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, and into Germany as well. So really quite wet. So there could be a bit of back-edge snow, perhaps particularly as we push north into northern Germany and northern Poland, and also Denmark there. Lots of wintry showers following on behind, snow packing in towards Norway, and snow showers pushing eastwards through Sweden and into Finland as well. Further southwards, a lot of dry weather once more through the southern and also eastern parts of Europe. Still the threat of a few showers to the far south, west of Spain and Portugal. Temperatures looking colder across northern Europe and cooling down a little bit across more southern parts of Europe as well. Into Monday, well, cold air is sitting across northern Europe with that big trough of low pressure. Another little low heading in towards the UK and Ireland. Could bring rain, sleet and snow into Ireland and the UK. We've got some low pressure starting to develop perhaps around Italy as well there. The upper air temperatures are cold through the northwest Europe with -5 cells iceberg digging southwards through Germany, France, the Low Countries, Ireland and the UK. And cooling down with the upper air temperatures across southern parts of Europe as well. Northern Europe, of course, looking really quite cold as well. So there's going to be rain, sleet and snow heading in towards Ireland and the UK on Monday afternoon and evening. Probably snow showers for Scandinavia and those Nordic regions. And then longer spells of rain, possibly some sleet and snow mixed in, starting to push southwards through Austria, Hungary, and in towards the Balkans. Temperatures looking increasingly cold across Scandinavia, really quite bitter through Sweden, Finland, Norway, and down in towards Denmark. Cold temperatures for the UK and Ireland as well. Pretty cold through France, the Low Countries, Germany and Poland. Also, it's really like southern Ukraine and then down into the far south of Europe where temperatures holding up a little bit better. Tuesday, super cold, probably intensifying across northern and west Europe. That area of low pressure zips across Ireland and the UK, heads off in towards the Low Countries. It's really quite a deep storm, might bring some severe gales, heavy rain, sleet and snow in towards the Low Countries there, and we pull back in behind it this northerly blast. So generally a cold scene across most parts of northern Europe anyway. Upper air temperatures looking cold and bitterly cold across Sweden, Norway and Finland. Cold upper air temperatures even working their way towards the Black Sea by the time we get through to Tuesday. So it really is just France and then down to southern parts of Europe where those upper air temperatures are holding up rather better. Heavy rain, sleet and snow from Ireland and the UK in towards France, the Low Countries and Germany, heading on in towards the southern parts of Denmark as well. Could be a big snow event this, and also a big wind event. We've got to watch out for some very strong wind, possibly with severe gales there accompanying that, so that might bring blizzard conditions to some places. Snow showers or longer spells of snow further north through Norway, Sweden and into Finland. Notice heavy showers and thunderstorms beginning to return to some parts of Spain and Portugal, unfortunately. Much of eastern and southeast Europe again looking mainly dry, but we do have some snow from eastern Ukraine up into southwestern parts of Russia. And temperatures are looking cold, especially across the far north of Europe. Norway and Sweden increasingly moving in towards a big freeze as next week goes along. But cold temperatures elsewhere, again, just across southern parts of Europe where those temperatures are holding up. That takes through into Wednesday, that area of low pressure bed going off in towards the Baltic Sea states and taking its snow with it. Northerly winds, again, wrapped around that area of low pressure in towards the western portion of Europe. Some higher pressure trying to build to the west of Portugal. Upper air temperatures remain cold across most parts of Europe, bitterly cold in the far north, southeastern corner of Europe and through the med, looking milder with the upper air temperatures. Sorry once more, everyone. And we find we've got a lot of snow here through Poland and going northwards in towards the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania, pushing north into towards southern parts of Finland and also into Sweden as well, increasingly heading off towards the west of Russia. Snow showers or longer spells of snow following along behind. There's another cluster or another clump of rain out in the Atlantic that might be threatening some rain, sleet and snow in towards Ireland, the UK and France again late Wednesday. Big showers and thunderstorms in the southeastern corner as well. That might deliver some significant snow to the Balkans and some very heavy downpours of rain through Italy and into Greece and Turkey. Perhaps Spain and Portugal looking a little bit drier. Check out those temperatures, bitterly cold now across Scandinavia and Nordic regions, generally cold across the rest of Europe as well. Even into the Med, those temperatures are easing back and going cooler than average. And then into Thursday, well, that next low zipping across northern parts of France. That could be taking further rain, sleet and snow with it. Meanwhile, we've got low pressure sitting over Baltic Sea states, bringing northeasterly winds to those northern parts of Europe. So very cold and wintry through there. Upper air temperatures, well, with that low, there's some milder air pushing in through France, but on the northern edge of below, that's where we can expect some rain. That could be northern France, it could be southern parts of England, where it's going to firm up on the exact track of that area of low pressure. Increasingly cold, the upper air temperatures for Scandinavia and Nordic regions of -10 and -15 Celsius iceberg get drawn out of the Arctic on those northeasterly winds. And cold upper air temperatures increasingly pushing down in towards the eastern and southeastern part of Europe as well. So it really is just like the central bowl of the Med, southern parts of France down to Spain, Portugal, where those upper air temperatures are looking a little bit better. Heavy rain pushing through France, really wet weather, could be snow on the northern edge, particularly for the low countries, maybe southern, southeastern parts of England. Again, the track of that low pressure needs to be firmed up, or it could be further north of that, could be further south. A lot of heavy snow into western Russia and then back into Scandinavia and Baltic Sea states. Very wet conditions extending from the Black Sea down in towards Greece and Turkey as well. But central part of the bed in Spain and Portugal actually looking a little bit drier. And those temperatures becoming colder all the time as next week goes on. So barely above freezing with the temperature through the northern parts of Britain, for example, into Germany as well, into Poland. Low countries again, could be seeing those temperatures hovering close to freezing all day, I think, by the last stages of next week. But extremely cold across northern parts of Europe, Finland, Sweden, and Denmark. And then further southwards, well, obviously it's milder through the Med, but still a little bit on the cool side. I'll run you out to day 10, so that's Friday, 22nd. Most parts of Europe still looking cold and wintry, with winds in from the north and from the northeast. Then into weekend of the 23rd and the 24th of November. Cold weather is maintained, especially across the northern, northeastern parts of Europe. Gradually, perhaps starting to see a bit of moderation in the west. We've got this area of low pressure around the Azores that's trying to drag up milder air from the southwest. That might be the trend, certainly for Western Europe, into the last week of November, as milder west-southwesterly winds return, but also outbreaks of rain return with it. We'll have to firm up on that, I guess. Right, so quite a wintry week to come, actually, across most parts of Europe, especially in northern regions. Going to get bitterly cold as the week goes on, but all areas really having cooled down. And yeah, winter knocking on the door in the next few days. If you enjoyed this European Outlook, please like, share, subscribe, show us to do that, and we'll be back a little bit later on when you attend a 14 day, including all of the rig features. Come back to that later. For European Outlook for this week, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.